Alright, people. Folks. Strange life, strange things. Stranger Things, I would say, is a good show. The first season I really liked. I think what I'm trying to do is understand what I'm doing here in this life. I realized that only being at home and not having contact with anyone is something you can do for a while, but I always encourage everyone to also leave the house. To leave the house and to simply challenge yourself into doing things that may seem hard at first, but once you've done them, you know, you're glad that you did them. Now, I can be super creative for a very, 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 very long period of time. But there always comes this point where there always comes this point where you have to do something I mean, where you simply have to say, I think I have to leave the house now. Simply because it's starting to wear you out. You know, I'm not saying this from a I don't know what kind of position. I'm saying this from a, you know, I've actually experienced this now. I spend a lot of time inside. And when I listen to reports about people that play, let's say, World of Warcraft, and that never leave the house, and that in the end commit suicide because they cannot play the game anymore, then I understand why they do it. Because this, in a way, I mean, in a way, it's hell. I mean, just, you know, if you're not a content creator, or you're not addicted to computer games, or, you know, you have... What? That was supposed to be 212. 212. Yeah, I'm just happy I got that one. what I realize is that I need other people in my life, like physical beings that I can look into the eyes. Internet is no replacement for true connection. I'm able to stretch out the amount of time that I spend with other people, but to say it maybe as Bilbo said it in The Lord of the Rings, that he feels like spread out. He feels like he's wearing thin, like too much butter, like not enough butter on, I don't know, not enough bread. I mean, you're starting to spread thin, if you know what I mean. I feel, yeah, remember that one. I feel stretched out. And there's a question if that can be something. I mean, you're starting to wear thin. And, you know, it's not only me, you know, but I'm basically, in terms of society and my surroundings, sometimes I'm just not existent. I'm not existent because, you know, I don't do what everybody else does. You know, I don't go out and party, but I actually wish I would. And maybe I should, but I'm also so, you know, what's the word for this? Paranoid. Not paranoid because I think there's people that want to do me in, you know, to use the term that, you know, Harry Potter and friends use, you know. No, it's more about the fact that, you know, people just tend to be like really vicious. I mean, and if you have the feeling, yeah, I actually know what you're talking about, you know, I actually don't want to go out anymore because people everywhere. Hey, Silver, that's the first one. You know, people are kind of assholes. And I don't know why. I don't know why. You know, I'm trying to be as nice as I can be. You know, I have a lot of cheek because I happen to understand a lot of the things, you know, that you just use as an excuse, you know, to be vicious. Yeah, I'm just gonna push through now because I'm really actually looking forward to these other extra levels where you need these relics for. Um, yeah, come on. I mean, I'm astonished how much I can actually spend here on my own and talk to people. You know, I'm not just calling people for people. Yeah, normally you can't avoid touching this thing. And here it's almost like, almost reluctant to touch it. Yeah, this is actually nice. You know, alright. What I'm trying to say is leave the house, man. I mean, like, don't blame it on anyone else if something happens. I mean, you know where you live, which means it's your responsibility to make sure that you're, you know, that you're gonna be safe. through the experience. But I've tried secluding myself to a large degree. Those are certainly the easiest ones, and also the most fun. You really feel like me just rushing through there. Maybe Sonic is a game worth playing. You know, it's not that I don't want to have friends. You know, I've tried having friends. I've really tried having friends. But it just seems like that I'm simply different than most people. I don't know. Most people kind of have friends, and every time I try, there's trouble. You know, not because I'm super sensitive. Wow, let's go. Wow. Not because I'm just super sensitive, or that I'm really a prick, or I'm super toxic. I have the feeling, you know, there's something oh wow. That's insane. You know, there's something really gentle inside of me. Okay, I think I need a few rounds for this one. Okay, there's only 6. Wow. Wow. Right, there's something. I am first just gonna run the course. Try to win it. And we may call that the inner child. And we may call that something else. But there is something really gentle inside of me. Really small. Something where I feel like, right, it actually needs protection from other people. That just, I don't know, treat me like I'm really bad. You know, it's hard to explain this, but that's where a lot of the paranoia is coming from. You know, that, you know, I meet people, and some of these people, wow, super nice. They say to me that I do things on purpose or whatever. You know, that, you know, if you feel insecure and I say something to you and that makes you angry, well, then that's your insecurity, man. I mean, that has nothing to do with me. Okay. Can I just restart this, please? You know, that has nothing to do with me. That's your insecurity. And that's what people often forget. That, you know, if you're sensitive about a topic and I only have to open my mouth and say something, yeah, alright, let's do that again. And that's enough to trigger you into, you know, ranting about this or that, then it's your problem, man. And so the question is, why do I have to suck up to your bullshit? I mean, I'm just trying to give you an idea what I'm talking about. You know, there's this guy, and we've met, and we spent time playing frisbee, right? I'm different than everybody else, right? If you reach out to me, you probably have nowhere else to go. You know, that's just what I'm saying. Right, you're probably looking for, I don't know, safety or something. You know, he asked me to play frisbee, and we started playing frisbee. And that's then for me, okay, let's play frisbee. You know, and then I'm going all out playing frisbee. And then you're going to realize, oh wow, I mean, that guy's tough. Yeah, so if you realize that you have problems keeping up, And that makes you angry, because no matter how hard you try, you just somehow don't manage to beat me, and then you get angry at me, and you try telling me how it's my fault. Now I'm starting to get a little bit wary of spending time with you. And, you know, if that's the case, I don't know, because I'm also often reluctant to leave, simply because I want to see if you really mean this. I mean, well, do you really want to be friends with me? Or are you just, hey, stay away from me? Exactly, you know? Like, you asked me to play Frisbee. And you agreed to meet with me. You agreed to meet with me. And you know, if you meet with me, you're gonna play Frisbee. You know, if you thought we could meet, and, you know, I'm just gonna sit around, again here? And then you just take the time, you know, and you show me videos about stuff. You know, I'm not interested in watching videos. You know, I want to create. And, you know, you may not like this, because maybe you're insecure about, you know, everything. And you feel like you've got nothing to say for yourself, and so you think, yeah, I'm gonna create distance, and I'll let the video speak. Yeah, but sorry, I'm not here for watching videos, because you've got nothing to teach me, you know? If the way you want to teach me is by showing me a video, yeah. Okay, now I have to be honest, because I did learn something. I did learn something. What did I learn? That, you know, maybe I just should talk about this, because I did learn something. But I'm just not sure why. You know, why I had to be informed about this. Maybe it's just good to know, right? Because I'm thinking a lot about why I only have 108 subscribers. You know, why people don't really watch, why I have the feeling they don't really watch my content. Why I only have 22 followers on Instagram, you know, as of, you know, last time I checked, which is, I don't know, maybe a couple of days ago or so. You know, I tried to stop upset, and actually it freed me, and that's now where I have to, you know, bite myself into my own tail. Okay, that was close. Right. I have to bite myself in my own tail, because he actually did help me with something. And that's exactly the point, you know. I'm not the only one who's like this. But everybody wants to pride himself into, you know, I'm helping others. Yeah, I'm helping others. Hey, stop this. Get out of my way, man. You know, I'm helping others. Everybody wants to pride themselves into helping others. And I'm no exception, and no one else is an exception. Everybody wants to be the best, right? And if you're not the best, you know, maybe you lose hope, or you just accept, yeah, I'm just mediocre or whatever. But in the end, you know, never let anyone stop you from doing what you like. You know, that's my advice to anyone. Because I would have stopped already a long time ago. I can still remember. Wow, that's gonna be a close one. Just saying. Out of my way. I'm going to get a solar crystal. Not. Yes, I do. Alright, I'm just trying to get this straight. I mean, you already know I'm really like... Okay. Now for the all crates one. Maybe I should drink another coffee. Mwah. Hey, it's raining, so nice. Wait a second. I love footage from rain. But I want to take another window, this one. That's not it. Okay. You know, I'm just trying to keep doing this while I'm talking. Okay, 24 crates. I don't have to be fast now. I just have to get through and get all the crates. Okay, what am I trying to say? What did he show me? Okay, I'm just trying to cling to what I remember. What? Oh shit. You see, there's no point in continuing. But there's also... Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the warp room. He showed me a video about Spotify. What he showed me was that how you can basically create an artist. Now, wrap your head around this. How do you create an artist? Well, how people often do it these days is they hire someone who uses computer scripts, you could call that programs or viruses or whatever, to basically, you know, you've got a computer and then you've got a program, and this program will do an automated task, which is something that you could do yourself. So this computer program is designed to create Spotify accounts and then listen to, let's say you create a song and you release it on Spotify and you get money and you get credit from, you know, other people are going to listen to you if you have more followers, right? The more followers you have, the more people you are going to attract. And so if you hire someone, let's say you're a musician and you feel like nobody likes you, what you can do is you hire someone that runs a program on his computer that probably goes through an VPN or FTP or something, you know, so you can reroute your location through a server so that, you know, Spotify or, I don't know, the police or, I don't know, cyber, I don't know who, you know, so that they won't know, you know, who's doing it. You know, you're gonna make sure they cannot trace you, right? That's what I'm trying to say. You're gonna make sure, you know, you have your programs installed And you're gonna make sure that nobody can find you. I mean, that guy even used gloves because they were filming it, of course, so that, you know, they cannot get his fingerprints and stuff and no particles of his skin, so they cannot do, you know, DNA tracebacks and stuff like this. And now, all you need then is a computer program. And you let that program run. And what this program is doing, it's creating accounts on Spotify. It logs into these accounts. So these accounts are all fake. It logs into these accounts. And then it streams your music. Whoa, that was stupid. And then it streams your music. Hey, I wanted to see what's gonna happen now, I know. And then it streams your music, and that means suddenly your profile, that if you would have just, you know, continued to produce music, would have been basically empty. But now you've got a program that basically generates followers for you. It creates accounts, and it makes it look like a lot of people are listening to your music, and you're even making money from this. Which is, you know, if you take a bit of money and you hire someone, you know, that person can make you into some kind of superstar. Because, you know, what is the mob? The mob is basically anyone that just does what everybody else does. Which means, you know, if you like a game, you know, maybe you like a game only because everybody else plays it. You don't even look for games that nobody knows. I had a comment on a video that I posted on TikTok. And somebody commented on it and said, why am I even seeing this? This guy only has 4 followers, or I don't know, 4 likes or whatever. What does that tell you? He was, you know, he felt pissed because, you know, why am I seeing this? You know, if there's not like hundreds and millions of people that like this, you know, then what's the benefit for me? Because he has no opinion for himself. He just follows the mass. You know, if 100,000 people think that, you know, my content is good, then, you know, some guy who just does what everybody else does, or who trusts the mass, you know, is just gonna, you know, he's just going to follow it then. So we as humans orient ourselves on our surroundings. That means to say, I knew that. That means to say we look at what everybody else does because, you know, we want to do good, yeah? Yeah, I'm just trying. I just want to see. But I cannot save time here. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work either. Okay. The mob, the society, it's not the mob, sounds so weird. It's society itself. You buy products where you think it's gonna make you look good, right? Because you want people to say, oh wow, you look really good. But because you're insecure, you know, you have trouble making choices for yourself. Which is why, you know, you're basically so insecure that you just let others choose for you. You know, you just do what everybody else does, and then you feel safe, right? You throw a party, you're gonna give people beer. Because if there's no beer, you know, people will have trouble to loosen up. How am I supposed to do that? You know, you throw a party, you're gonna give beer. Maybe you don't like beer, but you're gonna buy beer because you know other people like it. Okay, that's already maybe being considerate. But it's also doing what everybody else does, because everybody drinks beer. Because, you know, people need stuff to loosen up. Because they're also super tight, right? And if you drink alcohol, you know, it's going to intoxicate you. You know, that would be the way. And then you loosen up, and then it's going to be a good party. But everybody clings to alcohol. You know, if you would throw a party and instead of beer or salt sticks, you would just hand out, you know, pre-rolled joints, you know, people would probably go mental. Because they don't know how to handle cannabis, and then everybody has these pre-composed opinions that I don't know, you know, why people have problems with cannabis, but no problems with coffee or alcohol or sugar. Yeah, that's just the way it is. So well, are you kidding me? Why am I here now? Restart trial. Okay, no, I'm getting there. It's just, for me, you know, why I record these videos is also, I need to practice speaking about these things. Because I realize so many things, and if I don't talk about it, you know, I don't know how to talk about it. But it's my job to talk about things, which is why I have to practice these things. Which is why I have long conversations with myself, in order to explain to myself, you know, why we do what we're doing. And that's basically the only reason, amongst others. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you've been crushed. Pick yourself up, man. And then... yeah, I mean... okay. Do we understand what's going on? No. What are you trying to say? That was unfair. Yeah, I'm going a bit fast. It's hard to do this at the same time. But it's still teaching me something. Sometimes it's better to just, you know, not do everything at the same time. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to tell you something of great value. Because I think everybody already knows. No, not everybody knows, and that's the problem. If you think that, let's say, maybe YouTube's different, you know, I don't know. But let's say Instagram, Spotify, the whole internet, you know, you think, oh wow, you know, let's say you think statistics tell you, yeah, Instagram has so and so many millions of users, then the question is, how many real users are that actually, like human users? Because what I realized is that from that video, there's people running programs that create followers that are just programs that stream music so that people make money with it and appear like a lot of people like what they're doing. And that means that if I look at if I'm looking at my content and I'm not paying for followers or anything, you know, I may feel like, you know, why does nobody like me? Well, I can tell you, because they don't even know you exist at this point. Because you may have 22 followers, but what you have to understand is that that's 22 real followers. And that's important because if you look at people, you know, who suddenly go viral, well, they paid for it. You know, that's what everybody's doing. They just pay for it. They pay people to run programs that generate followers for them and that even create streams, and then they make money from those streams. But that means that if you know, I have the feeling Instagram is completely empty. I mean, just looking at how much content have I created already? How many people follow me? Okay, now you could say, well, well, maybe that's because... And now you can give a reason. Yeah, what you're doing is shit. Yeah, that's just an uninformed opinion. Right. Yeah. Wait, why is this not a time trial yet? I have to fly through it, maybe. It's an uninformed opinion. So I have recently talked to a family member, and that family member was drunk, and that family member thought, you know, she could destroy me or win against me. And she said, yeah, well, have you looked at your content? You know, nobody likes what you're doing. That's what she said to me. Just think about it. That's a family member, right? Quite sickening, if you ask me. Quite sickening. But yeah, you know, I accepted it. I simply accepted it. People are like this. Hey, there's no... So what did I do? Well, I simply... Right, okay, that's how people are. You know, people are just not very nice these days. Okay, I get that. Right. So, what happened? That makes no sense. Okay. I think I've made my point. There's still another one. You know, why is this a time trial? And why are there no crates? Okay. I don't know how fast I was supposed to do this. Let's see. Nothing. That's strange. Okay, maybe I have to be a little bit. Okay. So the point is, you know, don't worry too much about it. You know, if nobody likes what you're doing, well, they just haven't found you yet. Because to me, it's out of the question. Yeah, from nothing to gold. Right? It's out of the question to pay money for followers because it's dishonest. Because it's stupid. I mean, I want to do what I'm doing and I want it to be honest. But if I'm paying for followers, you know, these people are not going to tell you that they're paying for followers. You know, they're just going to pay for followers. They're just going to pay for followers. And they're going to keep it a secret because they feel ashamed about it. But, you know, the whole point of being a content creator is, you know, to like what you're doing. You know, to me, you know, it wouldn't be enough to just, you know, act like people like what I'm doing, because I always would know that people actually don't like it. You know, what motivates me is that I like what I'm doing. I mean, I really like what I'm doing. You know, not just a bit. I mean, I really like what I'm doing. And I also like myself to a certain degree. And I like myself more than, I would say, most other people, because that's what you call self-love, you know? That's what you get from, you know, retreating within and finding balance and being true to yourself and, you know, knowing how to create a kind of a safe place in yourself where you can basically, you know, right, so if I'm alone in my apartment, I can feel good and I can spend time creating content because I feel like I have a purpose, right? My purpose is to create content, and so I create content. And one thing is to show people, you know, simply, okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with you, but I can only say it in the way I think there's nothing wrong with me. And, you know, that's a perspective that, you know, some people may say it, but they don't feel it. You know, I feel what I say. Which is why, you know, I only talk about my emotions. Like, if I don't feel something, I'm not gonna say it. And if I'm uncertain about what I feel, you know, I spend... Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm glad that happened, actually. You know, if I'm uncertain about what I'm feeling, you know, I spend time figuring out what I'm feeling. And once I know what I'm feeling, I can make a backed up choice. And then I can say, okay, if this is how I'm feeling, you know, I'm going to react to it in such a way. Alright. So what, nobody likes my content? That's not true. The way I see it is, they don't even know my content exists. Because the internet is very big. And when you think, you know, how many million people are there on the internet? Well, I would say 50% are basically fake accounts. That's the truth. I would say maybe even more, you know, it's hard to say. You know, how many people are really, really active and they like stuff, you know? Most of them are just computer programs. You know, if somebody, you know, if you hear something on the radio, then people invested money, you know, to boost it. You can count on it. My music will never be played on the radio because I have no interest in that. I have no interest in that because the radio is stupid. You know, I don't want that. My music is on the radio because I realized that, you know, most people are idiots. So, you know, I don't want that everybody gets access to the kind of knowledge that I may have. So I'm just making it hard, you know. I talk for an hour and maybe I say 3 or 4 things that are actually really valuable. Well, if you don't want to hear it, you're not going to listen to it. And if you're not going to listen to it, you know, you just don't want to learn from me. Because I'm actually saying quite a few things that are important. But there are so many things that are important. And most of all, I mean, you just have to like what you're doing. You cannot expect others to like what you're doing. And if you don't like what you're doing, you know, and you pay for it, then you're cheating yourself. And I don't want to cheat myself. I've never cheated in relationships, I think. You know, I don't know if porn and masturbation actually counts as cheating. You know, that's something I think we all have to decide for ourselves. But the point is, I saw that, I thought it was really stupid. And despite the fact that I understood what he was trying to tell me, you know, he wanted me to watch the whole video, it's like 20 minutes. But I only needed to watch, you know, give me 4 minutes. He could have told me, right? He could have told me, but he just doesn't have the mental capacity, I think, to phrase these things, right? So I get it, you know? But you could have just summarized it. But I think his problem is that he has the feeling, you know, he cannot hold his ground in a conversation with me, and that's the truth. That's the true truth. Because my mind is just very open, and when I told him I've heard enough, you know, he shat his pants because, you know, if I don't want to watch his videos, he has to talk to me, and if he thinks he's stupid, well, you know, we're gonna have a hard time talking to each other. Because, you know, I don't think I'm stupid, and if you think I'm smart, and you're afraid of looking stupid, well then you don't understand anything about fear. Right? Because you could learn from me if you wanted to. You know, I don't have to talk all the time. But sometimes, you know, all you need is just exchange some opinions. And I don't get it, why people are so stuck up at thinking they have to know all the time. I mean, I get it. I mean, just listen to me. This is how I am. I mean, you wouldn't want to spend a lot of time with me simply because this is how I am all the time. This is how I am all the time. If you start talking to me, you know, that's who I am. And if you can't deal with that, well, then you're gonna get angry because I say a lot of stuff. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm just talking. The only one that could shut me up, you know, is either a woman that knows how to, you know, soothe me, or, you know, maybe a friend that wants to play frisbee. But if you don't want to play frisbee, I'm gonna talk. And if that makes you angry, you know, I'm just gonna leave because you just turn into some asshole then. You know, why did you even come in the first place? You know, this kind of knowledge, okay, it did help me, I have to admit that. But not in the way that you thought. You know, he thought I would ask him to do this, but I would never do such a thing. Simply because it's so stupid. You know? Right, I'm doing this because I wanted to do something honest with my life. So why would I resort to, you know, computer programs to do what I could do with hard work and simply prove that you can do it without paying for it? And then you have a really stable, you know, you have really stable followers. And I know that Instagram is empty. I'm really saying it because that's the feeling I have. There's basically nobody on there. From 20,000 accounts, there's probably... Because I was looking at how many accounts this thing created. It's like one window after the next, after the next, after the next. You know, one window after the next, after the next, after the next. Which means that if one computer can generate let's say 100 accounts, you know, in a couple of minutes, and then think about how many people are doing this. How many people are doing this? Hundreds of people, millions of people. This is I mean, that in itself is of course quite revealing. The internet is a big place and most of it is fake. Most of it is fake. And people are doing this everywhere. Everywhere on social media. Why? Because they're lazy and they have no trust. They have no trust, they have no faith. And because they have no trust and they have no faith and they don't want to put in the work. And maybe they don't have the support that I have. They resort to paying for it. Which means that, you know, if you pay for your followers, you know, for who are you creating content? For nobody. you create content for nobody because all your followers are fake and you know it, which means, you know, you're not gonna be very motivated if you know that all your followers are fake. That's a fact. That's a very simple fact. If you know that all your followers are fake because you paid for them, you know, you're gonna feel ashamed. Which is the same thing, you know. If you know you just masturbated or watched porn, you know, you're not gonna have, you know, very fulfilling sex with your wife because you feel ashamed that you just watched porn or masturbated. Even if you did it yesterday. Because you could have slept with your wife instead. Right, that's just, call it psychology, you know, I call it emotions. I call it truth, right? Truth always finds a way. And if you paid for your followers, you're gonna stop creating at some point. And that's the truth then, because if you stop, then you didn't really like what you're doing. And you weren't prepared to go the extra mile. And that's just my whole point. So it's stupid to do it in such a way. Wow. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that one again, I think. You know, that's just stupid. I mean, really, really stupid. You know, that's people who are very, very short-sighted. You know, they never look at, you know, how is it gonna make me feel? They just want it now. And they're willing to basically sacrifice, you know, something, you know, they didn't want it because they're like, it's like going to a prostitute when you want love. It makes no sense. You know, you cannot buy love, you know, and that's why if you create a lot of content and you have people following you, then, like, real people, then these people are going to lift you up. You know, you're literally creating your own community. And that means that you're gonna like what you're doing, and people are gonna like what you're doing. And what you have to do is simply keep going, which is of course the challenge. But you know, tough. That's just life. You know, that's just how it is. You know, you put in the work, or you just are an idiot like everybody else, who's too greedy, you know. Are you the guy who accepts the bribe, or are you the guy who says, nah, you know, I'd rather do it honest? Right? That's just the... I like that one. Yeah. Just learn to swim, man. I mean, if you can lie like this, you can just float around until you're where you want it to be. So... And that's also why, you know, people know it. Because they look at the stuff that people create and that has a lot of followers, and it's just shit. You know, everybody's bored out of their wits. Like, everybody's really bored. And you can tell, because the content that we are being served is the content that is created by people who've got money. And that's why it's so boring, because, you know, if you allow other people to manage you... Wow, this is longer than expected, holy shit. Wow. There he did not drown, it's like, yeah, that's very likely. So everything turns into the same thing. Because the people, you know, you start off, you're a creator, and then you get greedy, you lose faith. And then you turn to people, maybe you pay them money, or you make a contract with them. And then you're starting to be managed, which means you're not yourself anymore. I mean, I don't know. Chris Webster talks about how he's a self-made man, all that kind of stuff. I'm not so sure about it. And he also talks about how he makes his music all himself, but he doesn't. He has a team. Like, he does not make his music himself. You know, he just uses stuff that other people make. And that's the truth. Right? It just all sounds the same. All his... You know, every song, you know, yeah, he's a bit different, but... He's just pretending to be really tough. You know, he's not a guy that walks a lot in nature. And that's just why I started to get really sick of his content. Because it's just more of the same, you know. In the end, everything sounds like Macklemore. And that's the sad truth. In the end, everything just sounds like Macklemore. And then if you're really an artist, and you're trying to make something new, you know, people have to get used to that. And which is why, you know, I also have to speak about these things, because nobody tells me that. Everybody that I meet just tells me, yeah, it's not good what you're doing, you're not making any money. Yeah, because they don't know what faith is. I've tried explaining to people what it means to have trust. They don't understand it. Because they have insurances, right? You know, if you try to explain trust to a guy who has 10 insurances, you know, what's the point? Man, what's the point? Because the very fact that he has insurances already shows you what kind of person he is. You know, he's a guy who's afraid to die. That's a fact. You cannot whitewash it into like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, but you're afraid to die. You're afraid to lose. You have fear, and you think you can, you know, get rid of your fear by paying for it, which is what everybody does. I mean, there's people that, you know, buy an insurance for their glasses, right? I mean, people are so afraid, you know, they cannot even... I mean, that's just fear. And if you don't see that, you know, then what am I supposed to say to you? You know, what am I supposed to say to you? If, you know, our entire world are basically based on different things, you know? You know, my world is based on trust. I'm just gonna way. While yours is based on fear. You know, building up followers in the world today is really, really hard work. Like, really hard work. Not just a bit hard work, you know, like really hard work. Wow. Really hard work. And you either go through with it or you basically cheat on yourself. You know, I came here to be as honest as I can be. And that's what inspires me to continue. Because why stop now? I mean, what's the point? When you've created so much stuff as I have, you know, what's the point? And then you can check your followers every day. And it's just gonna be frustrating. Like, really frustrating. You know, to check your content every day, you know, day in and day out. Then you get an email from YouTube saying, yeah, we just took down your content or some of your content. It's like, okay, that's a very stupid place to find yourself in. A very stupid place to find yourself in. But so what? You know, it's tough. Deal with it. You either continue or you stop. You either continue or you stop. Alright? I'm in a way sick of this life, so I just said, you know, I'm just gonna ask for a job at the Boulder Hall. Not because I'm... Yeah, sure. I just think... You know, if they want it, you know, they can say it. You know, they don't have to do it if they don't want it. You know, that's the whole point. You know... You know, you don't have to do it if you don't want it. You get what I mean? I mean, if you chose this, then you have to give it your best shot. Then you have to just do whatever you can. Okay, no time trial. No. Then you just have to give it your best shot. And that's simply what I'm doing. No. I'm just giving it... That's insane. I'm just giving it my best shot. Without paying for anything. You know, I barely leave the house. But sometimes I do. And then if I get into conversations with people, you know, I can tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing. Because some people seem to think, you know, I'm an interesting guy. Alright, you think I'm an interesting guy. Yeah, you wouldn't last 10 hours in my presence without getting angry at me. Because there's just no end to it. You know, I don't stop talking, you know, unless you start kissing me. Or you play frisbee with me. You know. But I can continue talking. Right. Let's see. You know, literally without end. And that's hard for you to understand, my friend. It's hard for you to understand. Shit. Think about it. I see now. There's 2 that I'm missing. Yeah. So yeah, now I just feel like whatever. Just gonna check if there's something worth doing in here. Okay, this one. Okay, I just want to do this one. And I think that I'm done for now. Maybe even for the day. I think. Oh wait. I need to charge my camera. You know, I'm not only a nice guy. I think we all realize that by now. No. I'm just trying to do... You know what I can... I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. I fight in my own way. And... You know, people appreciate that to me, about me. You know, they may appreciate the challenge. And if it makes you angry that I'm going for the win, then we will just not have anything to say to each other anymore. Because now I know. Now I know. You know, you wanted me to cheat, man. Sorry, but you wanted me to cheat on my life? You know, you wanted me to stop on my life? Like, are you serious? Like, that's who you truly are? You know, such a low-life asshole that wants me to stop on my life? That wants me to, you know... Yeah, he said, yeah, I have the programs. You know, it didn't even occur to me for 1 second. I just realized, you know, how stupid. You know, he thought, oh yeah, now he's gonna help, you know, use my help, and then, you know, he just thought he saw his own benefit, you know, now I can make money from it. Yeah. Sorry, but that's not how it's going to be ever. You know, you cannot buy me. Right? You cannot buy me. Because you don't even know what you're buying. I mean, you're not gonna like me very much if you're corrupt. Because, you know, I'm all about healing and cleansing. And if you don't get that, well, then it's better if you stop talking to me. Because if this is how you think, yeah, I mean, tough, right, really tough, right, like, no, you know, I believe in hard work, and, you know, I can smoke sometimes, but then I also stop, and that's simply the way I like to do it, because I think I owe it to myself to give it my best shot. And I can pick up on these people. If you have 20 posts, 100 posts on Instagram, and you've got 13,000 followers, you know, that can be generated in a couple of seconds. Literally. Can be generated in a couple of seconds. So, yeah, all I can say is, you know, I have no interest in you. I have no interest in you. I will not spend time with you anymore because you're an asshole. You're trying to jeopardize my mission. And you've tried so already a couple of times. You know, you think you're so tempting. You don't tempt me. You know, I smoke if I want to smoke. If I don't want to smoke, I'm not going to smoke. And that's just a simple fact, you know. If I want to smoke, I'm going to smoke. If I don't want to smoke, I'm not going to smoke. Right? And that's gonna make you angry because you're trying to control me if you're trying to control me, then you're not my friend. If you're my friend, you let me do what I do. You know, you're not gonna say things, you know, I don't want to tempt you. Yeah. How do you tempt a lion? I mean, yeah, with bait. Right, you tempt a lion with bait. Alright, you know. Do your little tricks. Do your little tricks. But that only works on weak people. And I'm not weak, I'm stronger than you. Which is why you tried to tempt me in the first place. Because you just wanted to find some weakness inside of me. Too bad. I mean, too bad, man. That you thought I was such an... Now you have to live with the shame of not being able to win against me. Too bad. Too bad. But they actually do this. They actually do this. And it's ridiculous. And they think they're being smart, but they're just being stupid. They're just being like everybody else. And I think there's no benefit to that. Yeah, I'm done with this for today. So thank you, great game. Just have to say that, you know. It actually is a great game, but I've played it so often already. You know, I'm not really interested in the game. Right. What's this? I'm just interested in producing content that I think is going to get me a lot of attention, because how does he do that, you know? Is that bad to say things like this? I don't think so. It's just being honest. But some things you just keep to yourself, because I still play the game, I like it, you know. How many people are going to hear me say this? Probably no one. And I think everybody knows it already. I can't help that. It's just how it is. You know, I'm doing it anyway, so what's the point of telling me how to do it? Because I have my own way of doing things. Anyway. Cheerio!